Hi, this is Morteza, and the topic, as you can see, is related to the Iranian oil and gas law. And this presentation is related to the legal risks in business. And I'm trying to elaborate some pivotal points related to Iranian oil and gas in the first part, and the second part is related to the conflicts of law. And the first slide is related to the condition of stability in international oil and gas contracts between private companies and the government of Iran. It's really important and crucial to understand. That's really important to understand it in a very academic way, because when it comes to securing your profit in a foreign country, my word, in Iran, and when it comes to high amount of oil and gas, it's really vital to secure your profit in a foreign country by understanding how provisions of your contract would help you in future. So Iran as an exporting country could be targeted for concluding private sector contracts with the government of Iran, because when it comes to oil and gas contracts, it's really important how to manage these high amounts contracts, and to deal with and address the changing related to your clauses and terms of your contract in a very wise and logic way. And it's really important to understand this uh, provision, this term would freeze your contract in a very positive way, and it would secure your profit in a foreign country. And related to the oil and gas contracts, measures could be taken by companies to minimize the legal risk. And all we are trying to elaborate in the legal risk is how we could minimize the legal risk in our future duties. To my word, party to the oil contract would try to minimize the risk caused by controlling the contract. The condition of stability is a special obligation based on which the foreign country cannot change the terms of your contract by the law or any other means. So this is really important, because you are trying to freeze your contract in a very wise way, and in this course without the consent of your company. The provisions and the terms and clauses of your contracts would not be changed. And to just bear in mind and consider that we are talking about a foreign country, and the government can change the local regulations in order to put pressure on your company. And bear in mind, when you are when you are investor, such regulations could put pressure on you, such as taxes and other mandatory payments, existing liabilities and obligations and laws related to the health, safety, environment, labor, and security laws. They can take ownership of the investment in a completely legal way. So you are in charge of securing your benefit in a foreign country, and as you operate in a company as a legal operator, you need to understand this provision would help your company to secure its benefits. And the next slide is related to the oil contract provisions. And since the exploration of oil resources put the oil company in a very complicated business situation, in contrast to the foreign country, this condition means creating stability and freezing the contract. And all I'm trying to elaborate is how to minimize your legal risk as a operator, as a legal operator, by putting this condition, by putting this term in your contract. As international treaty, Iran could be obliged to the condition of stability, and this is very important and pivotal point that it can be understood, that why we are trying to elaborate this main issue and fundamental legal provision of your of oil and gas contracts, because Iran can be obliged by this provision. and how the condition works is the ultimate goal that I want to tackle this issue in this presentation. How the condition works. The investor must know this condition for investment because his side is a foreign government. By using the condition of stability, the level of government intervention can be minimized, and the intervention of foreign country can be minimized, and this is the ultimate goal that we can achieve in our country international contract, and the ultimate goal can be achieved as a legal operator is to minimize the legal risk to our company to maximize our profit in a foreign country. It's important to know the condition of stability because the government has two phases. One is the governing part, and the other is commercial part. As a manager, as an investor, we need to tackle two phases, and we need to manage two phases of our government, and this is our duty to secure our benefit in a foreign country. And the ultimate goal of our company is how to secure our benefits, how to earn above average related to our benefit in the foreign country. So this is the Achilles heel of our international contract that can be managed by our academic information related to the international contracts. The next slide is related to the step futuristic as a company manager. So the condition of stability or freezing of contract material used first time in the 50s. The condition gives the investor the security to be protected from the legal risks of the contract party's country. In 1948, Amin Oil Company was formed with the concession letter. The part that an international business man should be aware of that, so you cannot disrupt national security and public order. Just bear in mind and consider how public order and national security could demolish your profit in a foreign country. To my word, related to the oil and gas contracts, because most of the oil and gas contracts are related to the public order and national security, especially in the laws of Iranian laws related to the oil and gas. That's really fundamental to understand how public order and national security could demolish your profit. The case of Safir International Oil Company with limited liability and National Iranian Oil Company is really beneficial to be understood because we are talking about international law, and when it comes to international law cases, international cases would be really beneficial to be understood and would enhance your and would boost your academic knowledge how to conclude your contracts related to the high amounts oil and gas contracts. The government or any government official in Iran, central or local, including the National Iranian Oil Company, cannot invalidate. I'm talking about the Safir International case. Cannot invalidate the contract or change its provisions. The arbitrator ruled that the government of Iran had violated the condition. There is a duty to pay compensation. So that's what we are talking about. That's what we are trying to elaborate is how your company would be get paid, and after the violation of the provision of your contract, after the violation of the clauses of your contract, you can get paid after putting this condition, putting this provision to your contract. Okay, the next slide is related to the next sector of my presentation, the conflict of Iran's law in the field of international electronic trade law, Iran's civil law. And the presentation is related to the electronic trade law and conflicts of law. And we know that how conflicts of law is associated with electronic trade law. And it would be very beneficial to understand what is the conflicts of law. Conflict when we have two systems of law, and when we are talking about a issue related to the legal system of different legal system, and they have different jurisdiction related to one case, we will have conflicts of law. When we talking about conflicts of law, another principle would be put forward, and it is called policy of predictability. If the chosen law in the contract provision provides less protection to the consumer than Iranian law, therefore the law of commerce will be no governing law other than Iranian law. In this course, conflicts of law related to the Iranian law, civil law, uh, it's really protective. And when you want to operate as a legal operator, when you want to conclude a contract, just bear in mind how the Iranian law is protective about your electronic contract. The condition of choosing the governing law in international electronic contracts is contradictory. Governing law by strengthening the principle of sovereignty of law, of will and acceptance. So you can secure your contract uh, by invoking your will and acceptance as a principle of law. Therefore, the principle is that Iran's law has not given less protection to customers. This is the ultimate goal that I want to deal with in my presentation. Place of conclusion of contract. Determination of place of conclusion of electronic contracts also play a major role determining the governing law. More importantly, the rights and obligations of the parties of the to the contract and the business legal operators in concluding electronic contracts need to be secure principles of speed and security. Okay, thank you for your consideration and for your time. And this is my reference site, and I use these references to my presentation. And thank you.